And welcome back to the finale of Neptunia VIIR, where today we've got our 1v1, our final encounter, the battle for our heart between Uzume Tanoboshi and Kurome and Kokoboshi. And we get to listen to this amazing final boss theme, which is an instrumental remix of V2's main theme that they decided not to keep in this game, but instead just kept the instrumental version that plays for the final boss theme, which I appreciate because it's an amazing final boss theme. And if they changed this for V2R's main theme, it would have lost a lot of its impact, because the song itself is just so fucking good. But unfortunately, this final boss is where my criticism starts. The setup is amazing, but this fight is a bit slow. But the thing is, this fight, Kurome can do a lot of damage to Uzume very easily, which is why I've heavily for the whole adventure been saying make sure Uzume is unlocked heal. Because if you just have to rely on items, you will run out of your 4 item slots and lose this fight. I promise you that now. Kurome has way too much defense in her 3 health bars for you to burn through them all in only 4 heals. But enjoy the beatdown, because that's essentially what this is. If you just heal every other turn, Kurome can't do anything to you. That's the entire strategy. Throw anything you feel like at her, and just heal yourself every time your health drops below half. And enjoy the music as these two fight for the true self. And there's also unique voice lines that only plays in this fight. Like, this is the only time you fight just Kurome, not in her dark orange, so she has her usual lines. But Uzume also has unique lines solely for this fight, and if you listen out when you're playing them, you can hear them and work them out. Or even little things, like every time she roars, because Uzume does scream quite a lot, every time she screams and roars her battle cries kind of thing, they re-recorded a lot of them to be a lot more dramatic and aggressive than they were. As we launch in Umyo Heaven, even though Umyo's not here. Also, it's interesting that the final boss arena is an area that we've actually seen a few times throughout the adventure. It's one of the rundown city areas, but it's a circular dome that we've seen just tucked away in areas. Which I actually thought was kind of cool, because you had no reason to ever check out these circular domes. So for the final boss location to be on one of them, it's kind of like, oh right, I remember this. But that being said, as I keep on saying, this final boss theme is legendary. I love this final boss theme. So you know what that means. It means I'm going to be quiet for a minute and let it play.
Here, heal up. I'll be the last one standing. You're not half bad. I'm going for it. I'll give you a special dream. Go away! Feel the power of my dreams. Not yet. You're nothing but the dregs.
How does this game get to have 6 major boss themes, 2 at the end of each act, and all of them be amazing? Like, it's not fair, right? The soundtrack in this game is so goddamn good, and it has no reason to be. It's why I'm so excited at the prospect of a 5th mainline game. It's been quite a few years now since this, and the team have learnt a lot since then with some of their other projects they've done and worked on and helped out on. I'd love to see what a 5th mainline game would be like after all this time. It's why I have such high expectations for what the next one is. I know I'm risking setting myself up for disappointment, but it's why I say I'd love it to be 5 acts. I'd love there to be an act dedicated going back to Ultra Dimension. I'd love there to be an act dedicated to Uzume. I'd love, like, I don't want them to introduce any new characters in the next one. I want to expand on everything they've got. They've worked on the past few games. Because I don't want to say past 4 because the first game's not canon, but the past 3 then. Because there's so much here for it to really skyrocket the series from niche but has quite a big audience. Because go on Reddit and search r/game industry. Like, it's a big audience. This series has a real big fan club now. It's really grown. But this series, I genuinely feel like it could be pushed to mainstream in the same way Persona was, if they just had an amazing entry come up in the next one that really gave it their all. Because just like Persona, every single game in the series is really good, but it was always niche. It didn't take off until it got that one just sheer legendary entry that just came the fuck out of nowhere on modern platforms. If Neptunia can do the same thing, of have their next game just be absolutely goddamn amazing and just fire on all cylinders from the word go, they could escalate this series to a whole new level. I know they can. But the glimmers of what they can be is shown throughout the entirety of this game, and I say that open-heartedly. I love this game. I love this series. Last year when I went through all of them, the reason why I went through all four of them back to back, despite them all being kind of lengthy games, was because I was having too much fun to care. This series is so worth your love and attention. If you've never tried a Neptunia game, it's never too late to start. Most of the games are on Steam nowadays. In fact, the remakes of the first three, Rebirth 1, 2 and 3, I'm pretty sure are on Steam, with V2R being released late last year and getting a bunch of patches that the PS4 version never got. The whole main series is on PC. If you're not a console person, if you don't have a PS Vita, that is. If you have a Vita, you can get the first three games on that as well. And if you live in Japan, there's even less excuse because there's even more options to play the first three games. If you're somehow watching this in Japan.
I'll be the last one standing.
But as we approach the halfway point of Kurome's health bar,
I'm a force of fury.
Nepsi, Gearsy, Umio, just you wait. I'm fighting for this chance you've given me with my bare hands!
and this is actually one of the very few fights in the game where the character you have in battle actually gets a voice line. It's not just the bosses talking to you. And they haven't done this since Act 1, since, you know, for a very long time now, we've had complete control on who we've had in our team. This is the first fight in quite a long time where we've had absolute zero control and we've just had to deal with it. You can't not have Uzume in the team because she's the only active member. You can't have her in the background or not on the team sort of thing. God, this theme is so fucking good. The soundtrack is the best thing to take from this. All of this is just how fucking amazing this soundtrack is. If nothing else, if I can't somehow convince you to at least try out this series, at least listen to the OSTs, because they're just so worth your time.
Guess with having your existence on the line, you're pretty desperate to win!
Of course I am. I've waited decades for this day. I won't give it up to the likes of me.
Hatred can fuel someone's strength by this much? His voice. I got it, Umio.
Time for the final push. Once you hear that bit, there's nothing left to go for. You just gotta fire on through. You've probably noticed that I've been skipping battle animations because I know this fight's incredibly long, and I didn't want this whole part to just be an incredibly long final boss and then suddenly the epilogue kind of thing. I wanted this fight to be a decent, respectable length, but it's ultimately just the epilogue piece. It's the victory lap. However, something that I alluded to last time, and I want to squeeze it in here because there's different things I want to talk about coming up, is I said last time that there was one small thing that I was kind of uneasy about with how the whole ending structure's been, and we've passed where it is now. And it's the fact that they decided to do this bit to bring Uzume back. To bring her back on a whim kind of thing. There's a part of me that I don't want to say I criticise, it's more I'm curious to see how it would have been if they committed to letting it all end and having Uzume die. Like, I'm curious to see how they would have handled it and what they would have gone about doing it, and there's a part of me that kind of thinks it would have been a bittersweet way of ending it compared to what we're going to get. That being said, I do love the ending we're about to get. There's always been that kind of, since when I first played it, there's always been that niggle of, I wonder how they could have done it different. Like, I wonder what it would have been like if they hadn't kept Kurome alive.
I'm going for it.
But we've got an ending cutscene, then I re-edit in the credits that actually plays when you hit the bad ending at the end of part 47, and then I'll have all the epilogue scenes afterwards, so I will have a chance to talk before the end of this. It's just we've got an ending to play out first. as Kurome is finally, once and for all, defeated. And that also means you've beaten the game if you're following along at this point. Congratulations.
Did it! I leveled up! I went ahead and accepted my existence. Sorry to keep you waiting, everyone. Uzume Tanoboshi has revived.
Uzume! Uzume!
Uzume. Oh, thank goodness. I'm truly glad.
That's a relief. When I heard that voice, I thought that Kurome had revived.
It looks to have been successful. Uzume, your appearance and speech pattern have changed, but... oh, how nostalgic.
I'm here because everyone's voices were there for me. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm finally home, game industry.
And that's it. That's Neptunia VIIR. If I haven't made it clear already, and I feel like I've made it pretty fucking clear, I love this game. I genuinely do. It's one of the best games I played last year. I love it to death. I think it's such an amazing way to send off the series after these 4 games, and I can't wait to see what the team does next. It's the reason why I picked up Dragonstar Vanir, the next game that they worked on, day 1 without hesitation. Because this... like, the first 3 games made me a fan of their work, but this one locked me in as an IF fanboy. It locked me in as someone who's going to try out all of Compile Heart's published games. It's the only reason why I tried out Death End Request, the only reason why I tried out Mary Skelter, and all these other things. Because they just sold me on this so expertly. This game is such a fun game to play. It is such an enjoyable cast of characters, a lovable story. Yeah, it has some goofy moments and a few oddities in there, here and there, that make you kind of raise an eyebrow. But as an entirety, it's such a love letter, this game. Not just to fans, but to people who just love the video game industry. And I genuinely mean that. There's so many little nods and references to the video game industry that you might have caught on to as we went on. Mainly with the Gold Third. But everything about this game, even the credit screen you're watching, is a giant homage to Final Fantasy V. It's just... and this credits theme as well is beautiful. Like, I'm trying not to tear up because I love this game. I wish the credit screen was longer so I could just praise it more. But this is actually a pretty short credit screen because it's not a big team that works on these games. It always surprises me how small of a team that actually works on these, yet how consistent the quality is across all of them. It's so worth your time. As I said, this is not the end, however. There will be some post-game parts, but they won't be for a while because I have already started work on my next project, which I won't give away yet, but it won't be a JRPG. I'll be doing a couple smaller projects before I turn to another JRPG. But if you have been watching all of this across, as always, thank you so much. I have loved every second of this, and I hope even at least one of you I can convince to give this game a chance. Because it deserves so much more love than it gets. It deserves to be far better known than it is. Thank you for watching. God bless, and you guys take care now. Enjoy this pretty cheeky but fun and loving epilogue given by the game. That's actually extended because of V2R's VR stuff, so enjoy that. Take care now.
A few months have passed since Uzume revived. Heart in Zero Dimension also revived, as if coinciding with Uzume's revival, and have become an independent dimension. The delusional monsters that had flowed in were defeated by the nation's military and local militia. Peace has finally returned. Each CPU returned to their nation, and Gold Third, having ruled over the nations when the CPUs were absent, became heroes. Now then, as I am sure everyone is curious about those who adventured with Neptune, let us go and check in with them.
Hey! What are you slacking off for? Warachu's got comp on his brain. What else is new? Why don't you interact with him a little more nicely instead of always being so stern, Chuko?
What are you saying? I'm only doing this to rehabilitate Warachu into an honest man. I mean, an honest mouse.
Even so, I think you'd score some good points if you were a little nicer to him.
Really?
Well, I think that'd be true of anyone. Warachu's personality is... Oh, any more than this and I'll have to charge you.
Hey now, you're trying to take money from your employer? But I am curious, so maybe I will pay the fee.
Thank you for your interest. Love advice comes at 1,000 credits.
All right, today's roast came out really well. Want to try some, Goo Man?
You only see this kind of meat on a bone in comics. I'll try it! The grilling technique is exquisite. How delicious! My pectorals are trembling at this deliciousness. How about you, S-Shah?
Not interested. More importantly, our next objective.
Right, the town where alchemy's popular, right? From here, we should get there in about a day by walking.
I see. Sorry for asking you to be a guide.
I'm sorry, Sisha. Esha has a habit of deciding things with feng shui, so she's easily deceived. Just a while ago, she believed the words of a shady feng shui user and moved away from Shinjuku town.
Isha wishes to eat meat. Will you eat it? Yes. Both of you, pipe down. That Isha. When did she acquire such a strange technique?
You haven't changed, Esha. Well, the hunter industry has had lots of downtime lately, so I'm open to guiding you where you need to go.
Dear me, gaze upon this, T-Max. A new Lady Vert figurine has been released. As expected from the one who can be called the representative of busty blondes, even the posing knows what fans desire.
That isn't all, General. The chest area has been made with a flexible material so that it reproduces the softness of a chest.
What? I'd sense this will be a hot item, not just with those that walk the path of the busty blonde, but with normal people as well. Now then, I'll immediately place this as an affiliate's advertisement on the special Lady Noir article I received from Keisha.
Hold it right there! You assholes! Would you stop publishing stuff about me and Keisha's relationship? Thanks to that, people are saying I like girls or I've gotten involved with high schoolers!
What are you saying? Everything I've published is the truth. It is all literature I've received from Keisha.
That's right, Noir. I've been handing over all our conversations and experiences together as fact to the General. I just wanted more people to know about our close friendship.
Truth? No matter how you look at the contents, it's written like we're lovers! Even if you've been put on probation for having helped us out, if you go too far, I'll arrest you without question.
I've not twisted it any way. I've merely been copying and pasting the documents I received from Keisha. Copy pasta.
Lady Keisha, she's using the General to create non-existent established facts. Before this bloodshed, have flee the scene.
Lady Blonde, I've brought you some hot tea. Thank you, Financier. What are you writing? These aren't work documents. I thought it'd be good to summarize the past turmoil and adventures into a book. Penning a light novel is nice, but nonfiction is nice once in a while too, don't you think? Even when our time as CPUs fades away, as long as this book is here, we'll be remembered. That sounds wonderful. I appear in it too, yes? Of course. Sisha, Ram, Ram, and that revolutionary, everyone makes an appearance. Now that you mention it, I wonder if Ram and Ram are doing well. I sent them to Vert's place so I could write quietly.
Vert, why are all the guys that show up in this book naked?
Isn't it chilly? Won't they catch a cold?
Please look closely. As they're very muscular, it's proof they've been training. That's why they won't catch a cold even when naked.
Whoa, muscles are amazing, aren't they?
Uh-huh. Being muscular is amazing.
Oh, and Ram, when you address me, it's Big Sis or Vertsy. Understood?
But why? You aren't our big sister, Vert.
So I see. And here I had prepared some very delicious candy that only my relatives can partake in.
Ooh, I want to eat that! Can't I eat it, Big Sis?
Big Sis, I'd like to eat candy too!
Then let us eat them together.
Jeez. Why is Noir wandering around and neglecting her work? This stack of documents is hardly getting smaller. I can't hang out with Nepgear when I have so much to do. This is the worst.
Then shall I lend a hand?
Whoa! Hey, don't just pop up so suddenly!
I apologize.
And this is my room! You've got some guts to come into a girl's room without permission.
What? This is your room, Lady Uni? It's true that it's decorated to your tastes, has antique rifles, and wafting throughout the entire room is Lady Uni's scent!
D-Max, which do you like? An assault rifle, a Gatling gun, or an anti-tank rifle? Because I'll take your favorite gun and shoot you right in that thick head of yours! I'm kidding. If you're going to help me, I'll pretend I didn't just hear that. But the next time you enter my room without permission, you better be ready.
And so, looking in on Neptune.
Man, peace and quiet really is the best. Nothing's better than eating pudding and rolling around. Kappa, another pudding, please. Just give me all the ones in the fridge. You're so greedy, Nep Nep. If you eat too much, you'll gain weight.
That's right. Who was the one throwing a fit about gaining weight in the bathroom yesterday?
Actually, all the weight I thought I gained yesterday was back to normal this morning.
No way! Don't tell me you're the enviable kind of person who doesn't get fat.
Wait, Neptune. Could the reason you kept going HDD and then turning back to normal last night be...
You're sharp as usual, Nep Jr. I burn a lot of calories just from transforming, so I tried an HDD diet.
Using HDD for dieting?
I have watched over all CPUs, but Neptune is the very first to use transformation as a diet.
Well, it's definitely a diet only Nep Nep would come up with.
Now that I remember, aren't Uzume and the others due to return soon?
She went on a journey in order to see how game industry has changed since she was sealed, right?
She's with Big Nep Nep and Umio, too. She yelled, "We're restarting from zero," and went off with the bigger me, huh?
I see. So they're finally coming home. The Basilicom's gonna be lively again.
Here we are. We're home.
Oh, it looks like they're back. Speak of the something or other.
Wait! Whoa!
Ow, 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 ow! The warp fudged up.
Ow! Ow! That really hurt my ass.
Are you all right, Uzume?
That's so weird. I'm sure I properly specified the coordinates. Oh, it was you, wasn't it, Krusty? It only could have been you anyway.
Serves you right. That's what you jerks get for keeping me sealed in this book. If you don't like it, hurry and let me out.
If you keep that up, I'll want to let you out even less. In fact, I'll pin you down with needles.
You're right. I've lost count of how many times our coordinates were off. This may call for some serious punishment.
Big Nepsy, You may use these. They're needles I acquired from a pufferfish during our travels. It should be good for crawl.
Anything but that! Me and my wings are both delicate!
Oh, right. We just got home. Yo, everyone, it's been a while.
You seem healthy, Uzume. So, tell me, how's game industry looking after a couple of decades?
The food's great, and everyone's real nice. It's a great world to be a part of again. That's right, listen to this. We ran into an old man that remembered me during our journey. When we listened to his story, turns out he's the little brat that called me lame. But he bought a game console for me and Umiya when we were pulling that wagon for the Grassroots campaign. But what's even more surprising is that he remembered me even when history was rewritten. That little snot still remembered me.
There was someone who remembered you? Wow, that's amazing!
Actually, he isn't the only one who'd still remembered me. There was also...
Uzume, it's well and good to tell of your journey, but aren't you forgetting to say a certain greeting?
Oh, that's right. Sorry, my bad. I'm home, everyone.
Uzume and Adult Nep's adventures across several dimensions. Do it, ID. Do it in the next game. Do it.
Yay! Welcome to the true Thank You for Playing corner. Woohoo! And the crowd goes wild! Man, I wasn't sure what would happen after I got attacked by Arbor. I'm so thankful Nepgear and the others came. I escaped just in time. To be honest, I was preparing for the worst. So, about the other time when I asked for your help, I was actually talking about Kurome. It turned out that Kurome was the manifestation of Uzume's vengeful feelings. It was impossible to get her to let go of her desire for revenge. But still, as it turns out, I heard from Uzume afterwards that Kurome didn't think the time we spent together was a waste. Hearing that made me feel like maybe she truly heard me. I'm really glad about that. This happy ending is all thanks to you, and even though you're in another dimension, you helped us so much. You're a part of game industry forever. I'm so thankful for everything you've done for game industry. I'll always remember this. Thanks for always listening to me and giving me such great advice. And thank you so much for playing this game. I'll see you again.